can turn this into something positive and maybe it'll spread.
He's the most positive person on his job.
Now you're cured.
I feel good.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you are staying healthy. The governor's safer at home order means we all have to adjust. And on this Sunday morning, many of you are finding new ways to worship. Churches are getting creative to get the gospel out. I talked to a Milwaukee bishop and his wife, and they say this pandemic is a time to renew our bond to faith and family.
Where can I go when my heart is overwhelmed?
That's Bishop Darrell Hines of Christian Faith Fellowship Church in Milwaukee. Every week, hundreds show up for song, prayer, praise, and preaching.
We all understand that this is not our home. Heaven is our home.
But for the past few weeks, these sites have vanished at this Church of God in Christ.
The Israelites were burying a man, and they heard some thieves coming.
Services all over Wisconsin are suspended until the coronavirus threat is over.
You know, even being a pastor, we've pastored this church for 30 years. We've never not been able to gather.
It's a new order. Everything is different. Bishop Hines and First Lady Pamela Hines miss the human connection.
When you come here, you're going to get a hug. You're going to get a high five, a fist bump, or elbow, something, because we love people.
Today, most families are spending much more time together.
Any advice for people who are at home right now just going crazy?
I think it's an opportunity for families to re-engage. You know, if they don't have family values, to establish them. I think it's a perfect time to work patience. They have to be patient. They have to listen. I think it's a great time to communicate, because a lot of times we go on with our lives and we just don't sit down and have, good conversations. I think it's a great time to establish family dinner, whether it's hot dogs and pork and beans or, how we used to do it. It's dinner time, and it doesn't matter what we're eating, but let's eat it together.
The couple says this is a time for families to share amusing memories.
My wife told my son one day when he was a little boy, he said, "Boy, you getting on my nerves." He said, "Mama, where are your nerves?"
He didn't want to get on my nerves.
Hopefully you're closed in with the people you love. And love will always get you through anything.
The Hines have a new way to reach the faithful. 2 streaming services, one at 10 a.m. on Sunday, another at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday. Their message can be seen on christianfaith.org.
We learned that the church, first of all, is in a person's heart. Our faith is in our heart. And if we can connect to each other, whether we're in person or whether we're doing it live streaming, as long as we make that effort to stay connected, I think that that's the most important thing. Find that in your life, someone to pray with, someone to praise with, and someone that you can trust what they preach. You'll get through it. You may not be in a physical building, but you'll get through it. So I believe there is a message from God to us. First of all, I think that we become very selfish, self-centered. We become unpersonal in that we think only of ourselves a lot of times. And when you can't do anything about it, then you have to trust something beyond yourself. And so I think that's what God is saying. This is bigger than you, so you're going to have to trust me, because you can't get this done by yourself.
And I think God uses circumstances. So in the middle of this, I think He's allowing us to not only cleanse, whatever we need to clean, wash our hands. It's given us an opportunity to really reflect and cleanse our hearts, our spirits, our motivation, our intents. So I think it has a greater impact than we see.
But both are hopeful.
In times of tragedy, you need to hear good news. And that's what the church provides. It provides the gospel. Let's just bond together and show the world that when we're together, there's nothing that we can't accomplish.
The Hines also preach the power of laughter.
My son sent me this meme, it's just real short, where this guy was looking serious into the camera. And he was being interviewed and said, as a result of the coronavirus, you have 2 options, the A or B. The first option, A, is that you have to stay in the house with your wife and your children. The guy said B.
B. B.
Can I get an amen? Okay, so we have to laugh during these times. Now, a lot of area churches are providing parishioners with online sermons and services. It's also a great way to check out various places of worship in your community if you don't have a church. Well, this next story really touched my heart. It started as a message on an app from a senior asking for help. As Rebecca Clough shows us, a neighbor came to the rescue and delivered in a big way.
Morgan Ferrari was scrolling through the online community group Nextdoor earlier this week when she spotted a woman who said she needed help.
There was a woman that had said she tried ordering groceries, but they weren't going to come for 5 days. And one of the items that she really needed was oatmeal, and they were out of stock at the store.
Morgan grabbed some oatmeal and a few other items and dropped them off at Donna Bell's doorstep. The two never even met.
She lives alone.
I lost my husband, daughter, and brother all within months of each other.
Morgan knew there must be other seniors like Donna out there, so she started a Facebook group, Lake Country Adopt a Senior. It wasn't long before nearly 200 people were volunteering to help. Now her employees at her business, All Seasons, are working to match those volunteers with local seniors. In the meantime, Morgan made a promise to Donna.
We committed to bringing her a fish fry every Friday for the month of April. So it's just something a little bit different.
And Morgan and her son made good on that promise tonight.
It's so gracious and so wonderful. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, so sweet. Now, if you know a senior who needs help, get in touch with the Adopt a Senior Facebook group. We put a link to that on our Positively Milwaukee Facebook group. Well, as people have been self-quarantining in their homes, many have decided to add to their families. James Gross shows us how pet adoptions are off the charts.
As the coronavirus continues to spread across Wisconsin, you'll find relatively empty animal shelters, but that's a good thing.
A lot of adoptions in the last few weeks ever since the coronavirus kind of came to a head in Wisconsin. But this is definitely the lowest numbers we've ever seen in my experience in the last 6 years.
Pet adoption rates at the Milwaukee Area Domestic Animal Control Commission and the Wisconsin Humane Society are through the roof in the past couple of weeks as more people are self-quarantining. In 5 days, the Humane Society adopted out 159 pets.
People have more time at home. A lot of people do. And introducing a new animal right now allows the animal more time to adapt to the family.
We have 4 available cats available for adoption, and right now we only have we don't have any dogs. Actually, the one that's getting adopted right now.
Just because adoption numbers are up, though, doesn't mean it's easy to get into one of these animal shelters. Adoptions are by appointment only at both MADAC and the Humane Society.
Do your research first, look at the animals online. We're also posting more information about each individual animal as well as videos to help you make your decisions so you can really have a very specific animal in mind.
As to whether animals can spread or catch COVID-19, the CDC said, quote, "At this time, there is no evidence that companion animals, including pets, can spread COVID-19 or that they might be a source of infection in the United States. However, you should still practice general proper hygiene just to be safe."
Thank you, James. I call that positively. Okay, I'm sorry. Coming up next, a local sports marketing company scoring points in humanity. And we're going to take you inside a local company that makes mascots for schools and businesses all over the country, but it has retooled its production to fight the spread of coronavirus. Keeping city residents healthy. For the past 10 years, a 2.2-acre garden has given people access to fresh fruits, herbs, and spices. And though many places are closed these days, Alice's garden is open. Here's our Tony Atkins.
Here we go. That's Miss Heather's order.
Venus Williams has about a dozen orders packed up and ready to go in her own home. Pre-order and pickup is just one way Alice's garden keeps going.
We are trying to do our best to not just let our businesses go by the wayside, but to also continue to provide people with our naturally grown organic products.
A big stream of the garden's income comes from its presence between 5 different farmers markets weekly.
For someone like myself, whose product is mainly in stores that must close, that means that the normal stream of income just no longer exists.
For Williams, though, Alice's garden is more about service than finances.
An urban farm is the opportunity to grow your own grocery store.
An opportunity many families won't have otherwise.
I now have a waiting list of 48 families who want to grow their own food.
Immune-boosting herbal products are what customers are buying most these days.
Most of the orders that I have are for things like the virus rub and the immune boost tea.
Yeah, we all need that these days. And for a complete look at the herbal products offered by Alice's Garden, visit our website, tmj4.com. Well, it's amazing to see how manufacturers have helped fight the spread of coronavirus, and that's the case for one Milwaukee company. The Olympus Group went from making mascots to masks.
This is where some of the most recognizable mascots in the world are made, but today teams are sewing up something different.
So what we did was we tried to pivot the business a little bit and use some of the same equipment we used to produce mascots and banners to produce face shields and face masks for the medical community.
The staff here is helping meet a desperate demand for personal protective equipment for healthcare workers who are fighting the coronavirus.
We are producing our shields for Freighter, Children's, and Aurora right now.
Each day, the team is producing up to 3,000 face shields for doctors and nurses, and with healthcare students and medical partners top of mind, Herzing University is donating funds to have 10,000 face shields produced here in the next few weeks.
We wanted to be sure they had the protective gear that they needed. And the best way to do that was to support a new local supplier.
Now, there are plans to expand this production to help even more hospitals, and the employees here, who belong to an industry largely on pause, are busy.
It feels great to be able to keep our staff busy, keep them employed, and then produce some products that are needed in the medical community today.
A mascot-making team doing their part to support teams of heroes working on the front lines.
Gotta love that. A company born right here in Wisconsin is thriving with a mostly female staff, but this story is not about girl power. It's about how Capture Sports Marketing is scoring points in humanity. Delaney Bry has that story.
Born into a family known for paving their own path.
My grandpa started business when he was younger. My younger brother owns his own business. I have a cousin that owns his own business, so it was kind of always in my blood.
When Shelly found her true passion, it was a no-brainer to start her own business.
Seeing the impact that athletes can have and how they can be impacted was really kind of how I came up with this niche for Capture Sports Marketing.
That niche, helping coaches, athletes, and teams make a difference in their community.
A lot of times we see so often that they want to do good, they just don't know how or where to start. And so for us, that's the opportunity to be able to kind of walk them through the different processes and different options that they do have.
You may not recognize the name Capture Sports Marketing, but there is no doubt you've heard of their clients.
We have been blessed to be working with some of the best, I say athletes, but also humans. So J.J. Watt Foundation, Carson Wentz Foundation, Milwaukee Bucks, Vince Lombardi Cancer Foundation, Barton Cherry Star, their fund. So it's, it's a lot throughout the whole country.
While their reach is nationwide, Shelly, a Wisconsinite, has no plans to move her business out of Milwaukee.
Going from state to state, Wisconsin is special. Wisconsin is really special to be able to see the way, like you said, from a collegiate standpoint up into the professional ranks. But what's also neat is, you look at Marquette, you look at the Badgers, they give back. Like they have programs that specifically give back already in college, and then it's just continued on to the pros. So I think that's a spectacular thing that we have going here.
Capture doesn't just help others make an impact, they also create campaigns close to their hearts.
We as a group sat down and said, okay, what are some of the things that are really important to us as an organization, us as a company? And mental health was one of those things. And so we developed a campaign called End Stigma, Change Lives.
It included traveling across the country, athletes sharing their stories and struggles. Unfortunately, COVID-19 placed things on hold.
Everyone is expected to stay safe and stay home.
How have you guys kind of come up with a way to spread some positivity within that realm when you can't do your normal thing?
One of my son's friends relapsed within her cancer and knew that she was going to be having to go back in and start chemo, and thought, what can we do to bring a smile to her face? And I immediately thought of, her favorite team, and knew it was the Brewers. And so I said, okay, we'll find someone on the Brewers that will be able to do this. And the concept kind of grew from there. And we've had athletes and agents say, yes, we'll do it. So we've developed Athletes Doing Good. People can nominate either a child going through a health issue or someone working on the front lines within healthcare. And athletes are creating personalized messages, videos to them that then we can text to these individuals to hopefully bring a smile to their face.
As the nominations flood in, so do athletes wanting to help. From Brewers, Eric Sogard, former Buck, now Pacer Malcolm Brogdon, to Vikings, Adam Thielen.
None of them want to stop. And you know what? The need that they serve, that's not stopping either. So, it's that fuel behind them and behind us that there's only going to be more people that are going to need assistance and need help, and there's more impact that they can truly make.
Sports Stars with Hearts. Now, if you would like to nominate a healthcare worker or a child, all you have to do is visit capturesportsmarketing.com and click Nominate on the home page. We have more positive stories still to come, including an app that teaches kids the simplest thing to do in an emergency. It's perfect for all you parents turned teachers during our stay-at-home order. And some Hartford Union students and their teacher had a little fun with toilet paper and social distancing. That's all coming up next on Positively Milwaukee. Well, every week I like to share 4 reasons to smile. I call it our 4 positives. They're simple ways that people are helping others during this pandemic. We begin in Port Washington. Now, from afar, this looks like one of those little libraries out front. You've seen those, but if you get up close, you're going to see this little library has been turned into a public food pantry. Shelves are stocked with pasta, tuna, crackers, and a lot of other kitchen staples. The words on the door, take what you need, leave what you can. What a nice gesture. People all over are showing their love through labor. Check out Karen Momsen-Evers from the Menominee Falls Mustang Club. She delivered 50 masks to a respiratory therapist at the VA Medical Center. This is her way of showing gratitude to our heroic healthcare workers. Way to go, Karen. Jewish communities throughout our area are getting ready to celebrate Passover. It commemorates the freedom of the Jewish people leaving Egypt. Lubavitch of Wisconsin institutions usually hold huge community seders, but with the Safer at Home order this year, they're offering Seder to go kits with all of the traditional foods.
Even though we have physical barriers that stop us from coming together, but nothing will stop us from celebrating such an important holiday. And we may be physically separated, but spiritually we'll all be celebrating at the same time.
Matzah is the traditional bread used on Passover, and the Seder to go box has enough for 2 Seders. Passover, by the way, begins Wednesday. Hartford Union High School teacher Jeff Carter sent us this fun video. He produced it with some of his students, and they are practicing social distancing and sheltering at home. And I have a feeling Mr. Carter taught the kids a few lessons in the production of this video. Great idea. Well, let's face it, a lot of you parents are now looking for fun educational activities for your kids, and I have a perfect solution that keeps your kids safe, and it's free. It's the Yell and Tell website with educational lessons for parents and teachers. There's sections on stranger danger, guns, fire and water safety, even bullying. A great tool to help kids react during an emergency.
See it, feel it, what should you do? Yell and tell like Squawk shows you.
And you can get that free app and the amazing lessons. All you have to do is go to the website, yellandtell.com. We have a link at tmj4.com. This program was started by the granddaughter of the founder of Harley-Davidson. In 2009, she told me why she's passionate about getting yell and tell in schools all over the nation.
Jean Davidson has been on a mission to save children ever since her grandson Ryder was killed in a drowning accident. It happened almost 3 years ago.
When my grandson went in the water with the other 4-year-old, there was an older boy there that got scared, and he ran.
If the older child had gotten help, little Ryder may have lived. So this retired teacher came up with the Yell and Tell program. It teaches kids how to respond in an emergency.
Tell the first big person that you see something dangerous, feel scared, yell help, and tell.
And her innovative idea is proof that often the only thing standing between life and death is education.
Every time a child comes forward and says, I used yell and tell, and so is alive today because I yelled help. Whoa, whoa, makes me very happy.
Yes, it does, and yell and tell has saved the lives of dozens of kids. I'll be back with my quote of the week. Each week, I like to leave you with words of wisdom that have helped me. And this week's inspirational quote comes from one of our founding fathers, Alexander Hamilton. His words, "He who stands for nothing will fall for anything." Have a good week, everybody. Stay safe and stay positively Milwaukee.